But you're studying business?
No, not business.
No. She's studying gender.
The business of gender. It's like gender business.
This is literally me trying to explain what I studied during a family gathering.
Right?
Where do you come from?
Sorry, it just sounded interesting.
Have you seen Shiva Baby? Wanna join me and watch the film?
Sure.
Wait, how about we analyze this for our series?
By film students, for film students.
Let's not waste time and get straight to it.
Straight? Let's be inclusive to our bi queen Danielle.
Oops, sorry. Let's get right to it.
Shiva Baby follows a Jewish bisexual girl who is a sugar baby. The story is set in a Shiva, a Jewish practice where family members gather to mourn the passing of a family member. At the Shiva, she realizes that her ex-girlfriend and the sugar daddy is present, causing chaos to ensue.
The film was released in early 2021. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic affected the box office of the film incredibly.
In fact, the promotion of the film was disrupted due to the pandemic. Not only that, her latest film, Bottoms, also suffered the same fate because of the writer's strike. But on a positive note, I think it's amazing how Shiva Baby evolved from a short to a feature-length film which won a John Cassavetes Award.
Oh really? To win an award for a debut feature film is so impressive.
Speaking of impressive, let's analyze two of the film's most impressive film techniques.
First up, we have Mise-en-scene. This is where the rest of the story will unfold. Yes, just one house throughout. However, this is effectively executed since the house fits the occasion because of the dullness of the house since everyone is in mourning. And since we are restricted to just one location, we get a claustrophobic feeling which captures the essence of anxiety one may feel at a family gathering. We also get to know a little more about Danielle and Maya through their outfits.
That red shirt, that kind of made Danielle feel not as prepared as one might be for Shiva, And so we really wanted the drape of that shirt to kind of be loose, kind of like wrinkle really easily.
On the other hand, Maya is in a sleeker outfit. This perfectly reflects the two parallel situations these characters are in.
To add on what Mia just said, Danielle's costume also reflects the emotional state Danielle is in. Her taking off clothing is a recurring thing in the film. This can be seen as her uncovering herself, literally but metaphorically, laying her vulnerability slowly as the film progresses. This also foreshadows the climax, where she is in a way the most exposed vulnerably. Moving on from costume and makeup, staging is such a key part of the film.
It really felt as if we were put into a mob and were constantly swarmed by people all the time. I think this was done to put us in the same emotional state Danielle was in, which was feeling out of place and feeling as if there was no space to breathe. The fact that it was all in one house is the cherry on top.
On a more positive note, there were so many funny lines that were delivered so effortlessly by the whole cast, and it nicely balanced out the tense part of the film, making the film a nice drama and comedy to watch. Dramedy, as they call it.
My major was sort of like women and gender studies through the lens.
So you could run marches, like with the pink pussy hat.
Now, on to chapter 2, Cinematography.
Generally, the film was shot with a handheld camera movement, which is almost as if you're watching a documentary. But I think it's perfect for the film because it feels very raw and candid, which really gets us to truly be in the shoes of Danielle. And this is all accompanied with the close-ups to really capture her expression and emotions. There was a clear color motif throughout the film. The lighting was very warm and dim when Danielle felt the most tense, while the lighting was cool, neutral, and brighter when Danielle felt calmer. And it wasn't an abrupt lighting change. It happened with the use of the set. If you notice, there were a lot of items associated with orange on set. There'll be shots where the curtains were closed and shots where the candles were lighted to change the lighting and ultimately mood.
Besides orange, the use of red lighting for this particular scene really captured my attention. As you can see, the red curtains closed, creating a subtle soft red lighting on Maya. It makes the scene feel like a villain moment for her, considering the context of the scene where Maya chooses not to tell Danielle where her phone is. This is especially interesting since there is no clear antagonist of the film. On the other hand, when Danielle is in the frame, the same subtle soft red lighting is on her instead. This amplifies her anger. So this scene is more of a betrayal moment for Danielle. And they also broke the 180-degree rule to show how their relationship has turned sour again even after they had just reconciled.
Other than lighting, certain scenes were often done in shallow focus. For instance, there is a scene where the focus is only on Danielle and not on the person she is talking to, which diverts the usual way of how conversations are shot. And I think it is purposefully done to allude to the fact that Danielle sees many people at the Shiva as strangers, even though they are family. This parallels the real nature of big family gathering, and you get to feel the same out-of-place feeling as her. I also heard that the DP mentioned how they use special lens for the film.
Oh, what lens did they use?
An anamorphic lens. It's a lens that captures a wider field of view by squeezing the image horizontally. This lens was used because
I understood that the ensemble cast was really an important part of the comedy, and being able to see a number of people in frame together was going to be crucial to see people play off of each other and things like that.
But it was really subtle throughout the film since they use a 50mm and a 70mm lens most of the time, except for the famous panic attack scene.
Ah, yes. The panic scene, aka one of the emotional climax of the film. There's an abundance of things we could talk about. The amount of slow-mos, random close-up, very warm lighting, the soft and shallow focus, and the subtle backlight. The scene was really overwhelming.
On top of what you mentioned, they used a 40mm anamorphic lens for this scene. That's why the scene was visually in your face way more than the other scenes, I would say. It really highlighted her expressions on her face or lack thereof, and there was a lot of lens flare. I think all of this makes the scene rightfully famous, since it stimulates what a panic attack possibly looks like visually. It also gets viewers to feel the overwhelming amount of emotions Danielle is feeling in that moment. It is also important to touch on the themes in this film too. I believe the film is a showcase of anxiety and hunger for power over others, with these themes being sardine-packed into one Shiva. In short, in today's day and age, everyone is, to put it bluntly, nosy. I think that this film is an indication that we should mind our own business because it never ends well for both sides. With the message brought up, it is important to look back on how cinematography and mise-en-scene helped showcase the message of the film.
With such low budget, they had to rely heavily on these techniques. And I think it really shined through.
This is especially true because the film really puts us in Danielle's shoes, making us empathize with characters that are so different from us.
And this empathy ultimately drives home the point of we should mind our own business, because we've seen the dire consequences of what being greedy could lead to.
Looks like we shouldn't be too greedy and let this video be too long then. See you next time.
Bye!
Bye!